What's up, Sri Akal ji? Kya haal hai? Welcome back to the House of Moody Vintage podcast. All right, no, so I'm sorry. That was uncalled for. I'm just tapping into my my Punjabi roots, from Lahore. Just kidding. I'm like 132nd. It's not even 133rd. So it's a little closer. I'm 132nd Punjabi. So I got roots going back to Lahore, Punjab, in Pakistan. So, and the reason I say that because, well, just today the most recent episode of Miss Marvel dropped. Of course, I think it was episode 4. I believe so. Yes, episode 4. We will touch on that a little bit later. But I'm not Punjabi. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just one. If I was 1/8 Punjabi, that would make sense, but I'm not. Okay. I just have roots going back to Pakistan in Lahore. I'm just trying to be cool. Okay, never mind all that. Anyways, great to be back. As you can tell by probably my energy and the way I sound, maybe the way I look, because I'll be looking good right now, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm back to my old self. Feeling sexy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to talk about on this episode. I really was really excited to do this episode. So many things, so many movies, and so many shows that we must discuss. Last weekend was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. No clubbing. We didn't do the clubbing thing, but we got lit. Went to dinner to this beautiful Italian restaurant called. My mind is going blank. You're probably seeing an image right now if you're watching on YouTube. Excuse me. Very unprepared, unprofessional. I apologize. I think it's Contento. I think it's Contento. It is Contento. I was right. Beautiful place. It's in Chinatown, and great Italian place. It really is. It's very delicious. We had great food, and great. And I found another wonderful bottle of red. And this red is from the region of Tuscany in Toscana, in Italia, and which is kind of surprising because I'm all about everything Italian, the Italian culture, the history, the women, the food, the cucina. The Italian cucina is very good. I think is the best. But the cuisine itself, not just where they make the food, the kitchen. The cuisine itself is, it's always my favorite. I love anything Italian. And so I was just surprised because I'm surprised because the best bottles of red that I've had here in Bangkok, or just not just Bangkok, but just in Thailand. The bottles of red the best ones that I've liked have all been Spanish. They've been Spanish wine. So this one was a very, very good surprise. It's definitely one of my favorites. And fortunately, it's Italian. So for once, I have one of my favorite reds that happens to be from Italia. So this is very good. Molto bene. So great weekend. Went to dinner with a couple of we had a few friends, and met new friends through mutual friends. As usual, you get together and these dinners, or when you go out and have fun and you meet new people. It was a great time because two of our friends are they're going back. They're off to Europe actually. One of them actually lives there. The other one is it's the next stage of his career, so I'm very happy for him. We just had like this one last sort of group get together, dinner, have fun kind of thing, and we did. We did a little bar, did a couple of bar hopping. Yeah, you could consider that as bar hopping. So we definitely had a really good time at the bars over the weekend. So yeah, that's the weekend I would prefer to have on a regular. That's me, but I have been very spontaneous, which has pleasantly surprised my friends. So I love you guys. Thank you. But I am very, very much, just living life, man. I'm just enjoying life. Okay. I get shit from my friends all the time that I'm not, that I don't give myself a break. And which is something funny that I think of that because I had a conversation with one of my colleagues yesterday, before we got into the nitty gritty and the uninteresting crap of work. He started the conversation, my colleague started the conversation with, something that's more personal, not personal as in like, private type of information, but he was thinking of, he's planning a holiday trip to go to Bali, and so he wanted just information. And I was like, well, you know what? I have a very close friend of mine. She's really good at that stuff. So let me ask her. I'll definitely help you out. And, so I provided him the information that he wanted and that he needed. And he was like, he's very thankful and very appreciative. But we were just talking and he's like, dude, he brought something up, but I didn't think he would bring it up. Mainly because we really don't get too close. The only person I was really, really close with, to a colleague, she no longer works there. Okay. But that's only because she and I we're basically family. So, we obviously know each other years and years before. Riz, what's up? Shout out to you. I love you. So, and she's the only one I actually got, I was actually, had that type of relationship with only because, we have a very long history. And so I don't really get too close with colleagues, unless there really is this sort of like camaraderie, this type of, chemistry that I've had. Like, for example, in my former workplaces in Dhaka, who are basically like my family now, and I love them to death. Select few, not all of them, just select few. And they're here, we brought our a nuisance to Bangkok. And yeah, so I found it surprising. And you find it surprising when it's coming from a different person, right? When it comes from a third party and it's not, from you, and you're surprised because it's like, oh shit, even this person noticed. So my colleague was telling me, and he's like, dude, ever since I've joined here, you have not taken a single day off. Like, that's crazy, right? And he's sort of been in my position before as well. So he's wizened up and he knows better. But he was just telling me, he's like, dude, ever since I've been here, not once. The only time you took days off was when you had COVID. And he's like, but that's a freaking emergency. You can't avoid that. You have to stay away from work and all that stuff and recover. And on top of that, I only really took 2 days off of when I had COVID. I only took 2 days off. That's it. And because I was recovering, but I had already gone through the brunt, the really, really bad, effects of COVID in the first week, right? It's been 2 weeks by the way. It's been over 2 weeks, so I'm perfectly fine now. I'm doing great, tested negative and all that stuff. But yeah, it's been over 2 weeks. But when I first had it in the first week, I was being stupid. I didn't know I had COVID. I was just like, oh, it was just like a normal illness. This is something I've talked about in the last episode, but so that first week was, I just worked through it. I was still working, so I was being stupid. I didn't know, and excuse me. And so, and I took the 2 days off, maybe a little too late. I should have taken it off before. And my colleague was like, dude, why didn't you tell me? That's so irresponsible health-wise. You should take a break and all this stuff. So we had this conversation yesterday, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, you need to take a break. You need a break, not a fucking weekend. Like, you need to, like, a holiday break. That's what you need to do. You need to disconnect. And yeah, and I always had like I always have the same freaking response. I always feel like, yo, I gotta continue to work. I gotta grind. I only have I have the weekends to chill, so don't worry about it. But that's not enough sometimes. You can't just do like a Sunday off. You know what I mean? Because usually on Fridays and Saturdays, I'm like probably out with my friends, going hard. And sorry, that is not coffee, by the way. If you're watching this on YouTube, that was not coffee. You see this? That was not coffee. I wouldn't. It's hot chocolate. Okay, I had to. It's good for my throat and my taste buds. Thank you very much. I love hot chocolate. So not coffee, even though I'm completely addicted to coffee. So I had the conversation. I was like, yeah, man, I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't know, man. I'll think about it. Like, that's always my stupid ass response. But yeah, I'm really, really, really now just kind of considering that, you know what? Let's take maybe a week off. Maybe a week off. And he's like, yeah, dude. He's like, dude, just do it, man. Like, you need to do it, or it's gonna be like too late. and that's not going to be a good thing. So I need to wisen up. That's what I need to do. Anyway, so looking forward to this is hump day, right? Middle of the week for most places around the world. So looking forward to the weekend, of course. Looking forward to the weekend for sure. And but this is probably going to be a fun weekend. And I'm a little unsure about July. I'm unsure about what's going to happen in July. I don't look forward to too far or dwell on the past. I'm always like trying to be in the moment, take it one day at a time, go with the flow, the usual thing, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to retract that. Okay, I'm snapped out of it. I don't know what's happening in July. I think it's going to be a great month. It's going to be a great month. It's going to be fantastic. Okay. And I'm just going to enjoy it. It's going to be great. So with that out of the way and looking forward to, I think, yet another fun weekend, okay, with old friends, new friends, good friends, and crazy friends. So let's talk about it, man. What's happened? So this is, and now I'm in that post-COVID phase, right? I've had it. I don't have to worry about it, anything like that. But then I've had, I guess it can't just be me, right? My friends obviously go through it. So recently here in Bangkok or in Thailand, they've kind of gotten rid of the mask mandate, right? Like, so if you're in public, you're out and about, you don't need to put your mask on. You can choose to put your mask on, but that's your choice. But when you're in a train or a crowded area or a shared space, you still have to put the mask on. You have to keep it on. So it's like, man, so like, do I keep it on, off, whatever? And we tried that last weekend. When we went to dinner and all that stuff, and we did. It was my friends and I would when we were walking on the sidewalk or whatever, blah blah blah. We just took our mask off, but it didn't last long, man. It didn't last long. And of course, when you get into a restaurant, you take it off. There's not a single person who has it on, but some people still do until the food arrives, which I still find weird. But it's their choice, so I'm not going to judge them. They want to be safe. Can't be too safe. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's, I feel instantly guilty. And the reason why I still wear a mask is because, out of courtesy and, just out of courtesy. Like I don't want people to feel uncomfortable, so I put it on. And it's not like a nuisance for me, but I can tolerate it. A lot of people find it very difficult to breathe and all that stuff with a mask on. I've never had that issue. I don't have, I don't have those kind of challenges, but it'd be nice to not have the mask on, like, at all. I just want to go back to normal, dude. Like, it was nice not having the fucking mask on, But I'm thinking, like, when the mask mandate is completely gone and it's more relaxed, I think the only time that I would probably wear the mask is, I don't know, transportation. Yeah, because, I like to get on bikes. I like to get to places on bikes. So when I say bikes, I mean motorcycles, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know. So maybe then, because there's a lot of pollution, in a city like Bangkok, there's so much pollution. So just strap on a mask and go on about your business. So that's what I think about masks. I just want it off, dude. I just want to take it off. But fortunately, there's still places, of course, like fortunately you can take it off in public, and fortunately you can take it off in cafes and restaurants or what have you. So that's great. Anyways, there was another topic I want to talk about, but I think I can't really find a sort of segue or transition into it. I just find it funny because it's something that I have been recently noticing, right? The past few weekends that I've gone out. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I think it's because it's something. What triggered it was, the latest news with the whole controversies around, like, should transgender women compete in women's sports and competitions. Mine isn't really like a hot take or anything like that. But yeah, I'm not cool with that. Because, and it's a perfect example, and a lot of people don't do research, and that's fine, I don't really care, but, I think recently, I forgot the young lady's name, but she was an All-American athlete. Okay, for those who don't know what an All-American is basically in collegiate sports, right, in college and universities. If you are one of the elite players, you are considered an All-American. Okay, in your sport, right? There's different sports and different All-American teams, and this young lady was an All-American player all throughout her university career, right? Freshman, sophomore, junior year. And come senior year, all of a sudden, she loses her spot because of a transgender woman who decided, I'll compete. And, it's just, I don't know. You think, can you sit there and really tell me that that's fair? That that's really fair? Like biologically, you have an unfair advantage if you're a transgender woman and you are playing in women's sports, competing in women's sports. That girl who was an All-American athlete, her collegiate career, loses her fucking spot because of this individual. You're gonna really sit there and say that's fair? I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I'm not against, transgender individuals from competing in sports. Dude, go for it. Do your thing. It's your right. If you're creative, if you're athletic, go for it. But there should be a different category for it, dude. That's why you don't. That's why you don't have the WNBA players playing in the NBA. It doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what I mean? Biologically, this is not an opinion. Okay, this is scientific fact. Biologically, you cannot have that. It's an unfair advantage. That's crazy. That's not cool. You know what I mean? So I would argue, and a lot of people would argue, people with sense would argue, common sense would argue that, dude, that is not fair. That should not be happening. They should have their own category. Maybe they have their own competition, with transgender athletes. That makes more sense. But, you know what I mean? Nah. That's crazy. Anyways, so what triggered that is something that I noticed in my life personally when I've been going out lately. Listen, I'm a heterosexual ass dude, okay? Straight ass dude, all right? But I've had gay men hit on me, shit, as long as I can remember, okay? I don't know, maybe in my late teens when I actually started to know, and to me, I am so, and I've had a colleague of mine not too long ago, several years ago, and he noticed immediately. He's like, dude, I love how Mahmood is so comfortable in his own skin. He's so comfortable with his sexuality that all that stuff doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. When a gay man compliments me or flirts with me, to me, that's a compliment. I'm flattered. I'm flattered that the same sex finds me attractive. That's hot. Because it's like, oh shit, I'm desirable. I'm actually attractive to this individual, whoever it is. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter the gender. So I find that as a compliment. And it actually helps. Trying to get with the ladies, because the ladies be like, oh, okay, you find them attractive, okay. Let me holler at them real quick. Sometimes I need help of my gay friends. Okay, I appreciate and I'm grateful for my gay friends. Again, the reason why I bring that up is because I don't have any problem with that, dude. I've had gay dudes grope me. Okay, I know it's without consent. You shouldn't be doing that. But I don't make a big deal out of it. Even though they shouldn't be doing that, of course, but it's happened before. Okay. And it's a no. You shouldn't be doing that without consent, of course. So but I haven't made a big deal out of it. I don't feel assaulted or whatever. It's not a thing with me. Obviously there's boundaries you shouldn't cross, you know what I mean? But, but I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it. I'm fine. But I've had my gay friends sort of like, whether they're introducing me to somebody else, they're like, oh, but he's straight. Like, no, he's very straight. By the way, he's very straight. He's not gay. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Why is that important? I don't know. Okay, cool. Yeah. But the reason probably they're doing that is because they're letting this single female know that this attractive young man, thank you so much, is not gay and he's very single. So I was like, thank you, appreciate you. So they've had to do that. And the last time when I went to the club a couple weeks ago when I got COVID, this gay guy was like, he's very. He was feeling it, and he was high as fuck too. But he was just sort of life of the party kind of thing, and he was all into it and stuff like that. And he was shocked. He was like, "Oh my god, you're straight? That's rare. You're straight?" I'm like, "Yes. Why can't I?" And it's crazy that we still live in that kind of world where people still make a big deal out of like, the whole like if you're straight or gay thing. I'm like, I don't care, dude. So what? You're okay. That's your choice. What you want to do. I mean, if that's you, sexually or your sexual preference is that way, that's you, dude. That's what you feel. Just do it. Go for it. I don't care. It's none of my business. I don't be like, oh, well, I'm straight, or this person's gay. But I just wish it'll come to a point where we don't even need to do that. Like shouldn't even matter. Unless, of course, we talk about sports, okay? When a person was born a man and then just transitions and then plays in a women's competition, like not cool with me. Anyways, I found that weird. All right, and I'm not. It's a very, very gray area, a very dark gray area, and that needs to be fixed for reals. Because it's unfair, dude. Come on, man. These young ladies, they work their asses off to be the best in their competition, in their sports, and it's unfair. It's unfair, and it shouldn't be. That's the whole idea. Anyway, so moving on. Let's get into more fun things. Okay. I'm sorry. That's just something I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry. So, but it's cool. I'm all good. It's cool. But to my gay friends, you don't need to introduce me as straight. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a big deal, but it shouldn't be a big deal. But I love my gay friends. I love them to death. They're freaking hilarious. So funny. And it's fun to flirt with them too, by the way. I think it's hilarious. I try to get them to cheat on their boyfriends. Anyways, yeah, I'm a homewrecker. I know. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the series finales and the series picking up the next season and things like that. Obi-Wan finished, Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was if you follow me on Instagram, disappointing. It was very disappointing. Episode 1 was great. Episode 2 sort of followed up on a good note, and then it just went. I don't know where the hell it went for episode 3 and 4. 5 was fantastic. Still, there were a lot of like inconsistencies, and this is what I think I had my big problem with Obi-Wan Kenobi was the inconsistencies, and it went through into the finale episode. I thought the finale was great. There were a lot of great moments, but again, it was just, yeah, man, I don't know. You can't even chalk it up to saying, oh, it's TV. Well, you know what? Stranger Things is on TV. Look at that amazing production, and I'm not just talking about like CGI and things like that. I'm just talking about the overall execution of that show, which, of course, the final episodes are coming out this Friday on Netflix of season 4. We on season 4 or season 3? I can't remember. No, I think it's season 3, right? Nah, season 4. What am I talking about? The hell am I talking about? Hold on, people. I'm just gonna do real quick research here. I'm doing this by myself. I wish I had a Jamie, like Joe Rogan has Jamie. I wish I had a Jamie, but I don't. So, yeah, season 4. So looking forward to that. But anyways, yeah. So like when you have that type of caliber, of direction or performances and storytelling and the script and editing and all that stuff, why can't you do that with freaking Obi-Wan? And Obi-Wan was 6 episodes. Come on, man. You can't, and that's why I think that's what makes it even more heartbreaking that you had 6 episodes, you couldn't, and now they're like rumors about like season 2. I don't want a season 2. Stop. Okay, like Boba Fett, we don't need a season 2. Mandalorian, yes. Okay, and of course, Andor's coming out. Andor, I think it's getting a lot of hype right now. I think Andor probably being the same, if not better, in the same fabric of Mandalorian, but it could be better storytelling wise. Well, I don't know about performance. We'll have to see that, but the overall execution and things like that may be even better. There's a lot of rumors going around now that Andor is going to be a damn good show. It could be the best one from this cycle of or circle of Disney Plus Star Wars shows. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, man, it was just like it sucked, man. I mean, we wanted it to be so good, but unfortunately it wasn't. So right now, when it comes to Star Wars, Mandalorian is still my favorite. I don't think anything has beaten that so far. Excuse me. And this would probably, Obi-Wan would probably come in second, and Boba Fett third. I don't know. I don't want to rank. I don't feel comfortable ranking that because it's just such a disappointment. Anyways, so and of course, then we have, moving on from that. I just wish, I don't want a season 2. I just wish it was just better. But what is done is done. So move on to a different. We're gonna hop onto Netflix over here. We have the Umbrella Academy. I love Umbrella Academy. Season 3 just finished, and I thought it was a really cool. I personally thought it was a really cool ending because it's sort of like, okay, now what, right? Season 4 comes up, and the characters have okay. I don't want to give any spoilers. I almost did. If you haven't watched Umbrella Academy, because I know, even though you can binge it, but I know a lot of people. I mean, we have jobs, right? We have shit to do in life, and so much content that we can consume. It's so much of it, right? Excuse me. Thank God for. Excuse me. Thank God for. Well, I guess I'm not 100% back, but thank God for hot chocolate. Anyways, so yeah, Umbrella Academy, that was fantastic. I think it was a great ending to season 3. Looking forward to what they come up with season 4. Umbrella Academy was just like, just a new season of the same brilliant and fun things, right? It's fun. I think that's the number one. That's the key thing, right? It's very much like the Doom Squad. Or, shit, am I saying that right? Crap. Oh man, I know I messed that up. The Doom Squad, yeah, DC. Wow, my mind's going blank today. That's also a good show. Sorry, not the Doom Squad. I'm so stupid. Doom Patrol. Apologies, idiot. I love the Doom Patrol. I really do. But I think I have much more fun with the Umbrella Academy. I think the characters are so much cooler. There's just more life to it. I don't know. It's just more engaging. And I love the characters a lot more in Umbrella Academy. And just the overall joyful type of superhero type of TV show. Where it ranks, I can't really say because so many superhero shows out there, but it is definitely something that I would recommend, right? If someone was saying, "Oh, should I watch Umbrella Academy?" Yes, it's fun. Even if you're not a fan of superheroes or comic books, shows or whatever, or movies or whatever, this is definitely Umbrella Academy. I would definitely recommend because it's just a fun ass show, and it's just really cool concepts and characters that you just love or maybe hate to love or love to hate or whatever. So I think they did a really good job with that. We'll see what season 4 brings us. Now that where the characters are right now, if you've seen it, of course, you know what I'm talking about. This is a completely different sort of experience now for each of one of those characters, and they all have their own agendas and their own aim towards what the next stage of their life is going to be. So, I think it's going to be fun. We'll check that out. And just to switch, now we're switching. Let's switch the pace here. We're going back to Apple TV Plus. My beloved. I gush about Apple TV Plus all the time. I finally got around to watching Pachinko. So Pachinko is basically about a Korean family, right? A Korean family that sort of expands through 4 generations, right? It doesn't go through multiple decades, just 2 decades, right? It's around I think the 1930s, the 1940s, and then it like sort of jumps back and forth through the 80s, right? So this is, of course, during the Japanese occupation of Korea, and the war, during the war, and political turmoil and all that stuff, and you see a lot of that, sort of the depiction of how things were in Korea, and for Koreans who had to sort of escape certain type of situations to for a better life, just like any other country that's gone through war and had refugees and go through different places to to be safe, to keep safe, to have to seek a better life, right, for their families. And Pachinko is just, it's so well done. This is like a proper drama type of TV series, and it's so it's a miniseries, but it is so grounded, right? It really is. It's like you're watching a like sort of like an Academy Award winning or nominated type of film, even though it's a series, of course, but a film, because it's shot in that way, right? The director Soo Hugh, who is she's fantastic. I mean, if you're gonna tell, because the main character, of course, is a young Korean young lady, and how else would you tell that story unless it's like a woman director, a woman filmmaker, right? And there's so many amazing Asian directors out there, female Asian directors out there, who are doing an amazing job, and it's so beautiful to see that in streaming platforms, like Netflix or Disney Plus, with Deborah Chow. God, I'm still sort of like bummed out. I wanted her to win, man. I wanted Deborah Chow to win so hard, but anyways, but maybe she wasn't. The script was just not good. The writing of Obi-Wan was not good. That's not Deborah's fault. Anyways, I might be being biased, but let's face it, the writing was bad. Anyway, so back to Pachinko. So Soo Hughes just has done a wonderful job of executing that. Bring that script to life, and it obviously helps when you have the source material. It's a New York bestseller. I get that. It's been that's how it all. That's how it's a little easier. It's not easy, but it's easier to sort of represent that into the medium of film, right? That's the medium of film. So this the series, by the way, has 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, so you don't have to take my word for it of how amazing it is. And it's just, again, another example of how Apple TV Plus is just, quality after quality after quality, whether it's drama, whether it's a horror or thriller, whether it's a comedy, they've done so damn well. And they have such great storytellers there. And I also just saw the trailer. The trailer just dropped today for season 3, the final season for the show C, which is also on Apple TV Plus. That's the one with Jason Momoa. He's the lead in that show. And if you don't know, it's basically a show about this sort of like dystopian future where everyone can't see. They've lost their vision. It's sort of like an evolution, the next stage of evolution from human beings. And it's fantastic. I love that show. So I just saw the trailer, and the ending is going to probably be like epic as hell, and I'm really excited and stoked to see how that pans out. But that has just been like, the Apple TV reputation, the Plus TV reputation. And they've continued to do it. They're consistent. That's what blows my mind, that they're freaking consistent. And that's another reason why I kept saying that, well, what the hell? If these shows are able to do it, why wasn't Obi-Wan able to do it, for Disney Plus? And Disney has been making they've had some hiccups, with Bob Chapek, who's the new CEO. He has run into a couple of problems. Not sure how long he's going to be in that seat. Depending on what the board of directors are gonna or what they have in plan, right, in the near future for him. So I don't know where Disney's going with it. There's some hits, and there's some kind of misses there, which is something that you will not face or experience with Apple TV Plus. I'm telling you, it is worth it. Please subscribe to Apple TV Plus. It does not have an extensive library, obviously, as Netflix, but look what that's got them. They do not have a sustainable business structure. Not a business plan, but what's the word I'm looking for? My mind's going blank today. I don't know why. It's just not sustainable, because their whole business plan business structure is around subscriptions, and they're losing subscriptions, by the way. So that's why they're in billions in debt. Okay. And that's not good. So they're still making money. They're still making, they have their revenues, they have their, hit shows and stuff like that, but it's based on subscribers. And business model, that's what oh God, wow, my mind was going blank. That's their business model. It's based on subscribers, right? They're not like an HBO, and they're not like Disney. Disney's a huge freaking corporation. So they can always have a backup to whatever, right? That's their thing. They have the resources to back that up. So, and yeah, but I think Apple TV Plus has the right amount in their library, but more importantly, it's all about quality, and you will not go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that. So please, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed if you subscribe to Apple TV Plus. I'm a big fan. That's the only reason I would actually, suggest or recommend that people check it out. So yeah, check out Pachinko while you're at it, because I finally got around to it, to seeing the show. I think it's beautiful. There's so many emotional moments, a lot of things that immigrants would probably, or second generation immigrants, who can probably, no, not probably, will definitely relate to this beautiful story, and I'm glad they brought it to life. And the show is in Korean and Japanese, and there's English in there as well. But the majority of it is subtitles. They'll let you know what I think the blue subtitle is for Japanese, and the yellow one is in Korean. I just realized I just said yellow. Wow. I'm not being racist. It's just, stupid stereotype. Apologies. Hey, man. Hey, I got a lot of Asian friends, okay? I love them. No, hey, and I'm also in love with an Asian woman, okay? A Korean goddess. Anyways, so yeah, so they'll even tell you before the show begins, the blue subtitles are in Japanese and the yellow's in Korean. So whenever the dialogue is freaking amazing. It is such a well-written show. The dialogue is freaking amazing. So, the characters are speaking both Japanese and Korean. And also, you'll see a bit of English when they flash back to the 80s, when they jump back to the 80s. So, yeah, Pachinko. Please check it out. I highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. And then I just, it sort of went under the radar, and I understand why it went under the radar, but it's Westworld. Westworld season 4 just came out on HBO. I just saw the first episode. I think it was a solid premiere episode for season 4. I know a lot of people sort of dropped out maybe after season 2, and definitely dropped a lot of viewers in season 3. And I understand why, I get it, but I'm such a fan of that world, of that concept. Even though they've sort of expanded, and they kind of have to. I understand why they would have to. They're back into the real world. Some of the characters are now assimilated with society. Some of them are quote unquote off the grid. Some of them have lost their memories. Some of them don't. But it's the next chapter, and it continues. The war, the quote unquote wars. If you've seen the show, if you've watched season 4, the first episode, you know what I'm talking about. That's gone. It's still going on. So they're still on the, I guess, on the run, right, so to speak. So yeah, it just and now this is a completely different element to it, which I think it's fantastic, and I think it might entice people who have left the show to come back, sort of like dip your toes back into it and watch it. I think it'll be fun. But yeah, I do understand why a lot of people sort of jump ship after season, or during even season 3. I know a lot of friends who were like, nah, man, I'm not with it anymore. It's their experience to this is probably my experience with Mr. Robot. Remember that show? I checked out after season 2. I was like, I can't. So yeah, we'll see what that goes. It's only the first episode. I think it was solid. The main characters are back. So no surprise there when it comes to like, performance and all that stuff. It's gonna be there. Thandie Newton with her fine ass. Damn, that woman gorgeous. So her badass self is back, and so are the other lead actors, and a nice little cliffhanger as well to the episode. So I'm very excited to see where this, the new twists and turns for the show will be. Anyways, and finally, I'm just gonna wrap this up here. The latest episode of Miss Marvel, they actually address her name, and it sort of is explained throughout the episode. And for those who don't know, Kamala is not a Pakistani name or a Muslim name. So some people were like, why is her name Kamala? She's a Pakistani Muslim and da. Anyways, they address it in here. You'll find out. You'll know why in episode 4 of Miss Marvel, and I've loved it. I love this episode. I think the show is doing so well. They've been so consistent. With the culture representation, obviously, the performances, of course. Iman's doing fantastic. The direction, the showrunners, and there's a lot of throwback things in here. Like, for example, one of the things that popped up was one of her cousins. She goes back to Pakistan, and one of her cousins was like, refers to her as an ABCD. For those who don't know, first of all, as far as I know, that term is no longer used. Okay, that's something that we grew up with, in my generation grew up with. ABCD basically means American Born Confused Desi. Okay, now Desi or Deshi for us, Bangladeshis, basically refers to, someone from the Desh, which is the land, which is, South Asia, right? So if you're South Asian, you're considered Desi or Deshi. And a lot of, children of immigrants who are born in America, they sort of have this, this identity crisis. They're American, but then they're Indian or Pakistani or Bangladeshi or Nepali or Sri Lankan, whatever, by culture, by their roots, their parents. And so there's always this confusion of like, what am I? I've never had that problem, fortunately, but so it's just, it was funny. And I know it was sort of like a nod by the showrunners or the writers of the show, which I appreciated, but you can tell, you can sort of like, they basically age themselves, right? With those type of references. But I appreciate it. It made me smile, and I was like, ain't nobody use that though. Ain't nobody uses ABCD anymore. That's dumb. Definitely not Gen Z. Gen Z definitely doesn't use it, as far as I know. I don't know. Maybe y'all do. I don't know. Anyways, episode 4 was great. Fantastic. It starts to unravel. Farhan Akhtar, of course, one of India's cinema's best filmmakers. I think he's great. I think he's a fantastic actor, but I think he's a better director. I really do. I think he's just awesome. His sister, of course, Zoya Akhtar, who is also one of my favorites. I love her to death. But Farhan is kick ass in this show. At least in this episode. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but he kicks ass in this episode. It's so nice to see that, a familiar face, a guy who's from, the Indian film industry, the Hindi film industry, with so much rich history. So it was just cool to see him kick ass on screen and play this sort of like, I don't want to say superhero, but like, he's just badass. He's just really badass in this episode. I really appreciate how they handled him and the character that he plays in it. So look out for that. I think it was really cool. And there's a lot of, again, the soundtrack is still awesome. There's some, again, a nice, beautiful blend of, Western music and Eastern, and little throwbacks, and then more modern type of today's hits, kind of thing. So they've just done a great job, man. I cannot recommend this more. It's a wonderful show, and most importantly, whether you can relate to the culture or not, the most important thing is that it's just a fun watch. It's just so fun to watch, and it just puts so much joy in your heart. It's hard not to like. It's just hard not to embrace that joy. That's how much I love this show. Anyways, so Miss Marvel, still going great. Can't wait to see the coming episodes and how they finish and wrap up this season. And that will wrap up this episode, the House of Moody Vintage podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening in, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcast. Thank you so much. You guys have been great with the support. And on YouTube as well, I've seen a couple of new subscribers, so thank you for that very much. So yeah, appreciate it, and looking forward to the rest of the week. And the weekend needs to hurry the hell up because I need it. Maybe I need a longer break, but I don't know. We'll see. Eventually. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. This was a long ass episode, but I had so much to talk about. Because I just felt more energized than last week because, COVID and stuff. Kind of back to normal. No, I am. I think I'm 95% back to normal. 95%. 95. I'm good. Anyways, see y'all next week right here, the House of Moody Vintage podcast. I'm out. Peace.